I'm Kristen Larson. I'm your volunteer attorney through LegalCORPS today. I just want to make sure that our technical connection is working well with this off-site clinic.
Everything's working fine. Is this conversation completely private?
It is. I'm the only one that's in the room. I also have my law clerk Mike with me.
So I invented a new type of mousetrap that's really powerful and gentle on our little mouse friends. So I call it the Mighty Mousetrap.
I saw that on your registration form so you're looking to develop a business today.
Yes, we've done some research and we've decided on forming an LLC. We're going to split the ownership 50-50. And I'm also worried about, I don't want anyone to know about our invention. I want to keep it secret. I trust James. But so how can I prevent anyone from stealing this idea?
Well, as an attorney and also as a law clerk, we have a duty to keep your invention private. There's different things that you can do to protect your invention. One of the things that you could do is you could file for patent protection for your invention. Because we have limited time here today, that's not something I could help you do today. However, LegalCORPS does have an inventor's assistance program which you could go through to get some of your patent protection.
Okay, great.
And Lindsay's not patting herself on the back enough. She is really the brains behind the operation here. Me, James, I'm just the big mouth guy. I've got the connections, the marketing people. I can sell this product, but really Lindsay's the brains behind this.
And there's one more thing I should tell you. I'm going through a divorce right now, so I'm worried about valuation of my share of the business in the divorce. So how can I minimize the value of my share until the divorce is final?
Unfortunately, I'm not a divorce attorney, so that's not a matter I'd really be able to help you with today. I'm here to help you as individuals forming your business. I can provide you some referrals for who you can go to if you're not aware of a local attorney that does handle family law issues.
Well, one of the issues that I have is, I love Lindsay. She's a wonderful business partner. I can't stand her husband, hopefully soon to be ex-husband. Yeah, my main concern is this guy going to be meddling with our business?
Well, the one thing that you can do is, by the way that you can set up the LLC, is you'll have a membership agreement and you can list the ownership interest, and if he's not listed as one of the members or the owners under your LLC, that would keep him out of the picture, but that's not to say what a family law judge could do during the divorce action may give some interest in that. So that is something that you may need to look at separately from a family law perspective.
Oh, I'm really sorry. My cell phone is buzzing. I'm going to step out for a second and take this call.
Gee, I told you to turn it off.
Very important.
Okay, well, yeah, now that Lindsay left, I really got to ask you a question here. Again, I love Lindsay, but I got a feeling she might be doing some sort of funny business with this company, and how she's going to maybe edge me out or something with this divorce. It just doesn't feel right to me. So what's your advice to me? How do I protect myself in this?
No, I'd really like to help you, but my role here today, and based on the representation that I have, is I'm representing both you and Lindsay as individuals forming this business entity. To the extent you and Lindsay have a conflicting interest, it may be advisable for you to get a separate attorney. But the one thing that, as I previously mentioned, is that the member control agreement will help you in that it'll say who the owners are and who has the liability under. And if you exclude her husband, then you may be okay in that respect. But it's really something that I can't advise you individually on, because I'm here today to help both you two as you're forming this business entity.
Well, it's great. I don't think there's any conflict right now. I mean, we're going into business together, so can't you give me some advice?
It's really not something I can do today. If it's an issue where you would come back at a separate time to a different clinic, you could get help, but I cannot help you today because that's a conflict for me.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck with your business.
All right. Well, sort of a tricky and very artificial situation that we set up, obviously. but I think it worked. So I want to ask the law clerk, actually, for the answer on this. Mr. Flom. Just any observations? I think Kristen did well to sort of deflect the issue, but explain it and not go overboard, but try to define the roles.
She did such a good job. I was thinking of jumping in and saying, look, you guys got a problem here. It shouldn't be 50-50. I think you ought to have 55. She should have 40, and then you should give me the other 5% to give those guys out, to get that husband out of the picture, because I know how to do that. But that would have been too obvious that I was trying to solicit some financial gain. So I think she did really a great job of deflecting those questions about the personal interest, separate from the business interest, from not getting involved in a family law or divorce situation. I do think that if this thing had gone on, there were going to have to be some real discussions as to whether this is an appropriate group, partnership to be, business venture in the first place, and if there is, if they've got some dispute mechanisms other than a 50-50 split. But in any event, the important thing is to not get sucked into the idea of this is me versus him. This is something other than a corporate and business representation, and identifying that there might be separate issues with a need for separate consultation.
Great, and I have seen situations where, just as an aside, where an owner of a business wants to do things to affect the valuation because of a family law issue that is going on. So it's not.
And one other issue that I wouldn't have wanted to stop it for the purpose of this demonstration, but this lawyer's been put in an uncomfortable situation as to client confidences and privileges too. Because generally speaking, both of these individuals are going to be entitled to know what the other one said, and there shouldn't be any secrets as between them. Yeah. And then the one goes off to get a phone call, and the one who sticks around starts opening up with very private and separate things. And I think it might have been a good idea to keep an eye on, I better stop you there, because I'm not your lawyer individually, and as a result of that, nothing you say to me, while it's protected as against the rest of the world, it isn't with your with the other individual here. So that's an important, I think, ethical concern that came up in this particular vignette.
Great. Any other questions, observations? Does it look like fun? And this is, I mean, this one I haven't seen come up before. I've seen situations where people have maybe varying interests, but
in my own private practice, I have dealt with a situation somewhat similar to this, where I've got one of the co-owners calling me and trying to have this discussion, and when you say stop, I can't do this. I'm representing the company, not you individually. There's conflict issues here. Oh, there's no conflict. We're still business partners, and so the concept of conflict of interest has a much different connotation, I think, to the layperson than it does to lawyers. So to keep that in mind, too, when you're explaining things, that you do have to stick to your guns, which Kristen did well.
She did. Well, terrific. Any other general questions? I think we're going to let you out about 2 minutes early.